Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Showbox main event of the evening, scheduled for 12 rounds for the IBF Light Heavyweight World Title Elimination Bout, as well as the IBA Continental America's Light Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, in the blue corner, this gentleman is wearing the red trunks trimmed in white. He tipped the scale at a strong, fit, and ready 174 pounds. His record an outstanding one, 46 wins, just 4 losses with 30 big knockouts. Originally from the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, now fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, the former WBC light heavyweight champion of the world and currently ranked number 3 by the IBF. Please welcome Montell Ice Griffin. His opponent in the red corner, wearing the white trunks trimmed in black. This gentleman tipped the scale at a strong and fit and ready 173 pounds. His record, unblemished, undefeated, 17 wins, no losses, with 14 big knockouts. He is currently ranked number 1 by the IBF in the current IBA Continental America's Light Heavyweight Champion from Detroit, Michigan. Please welcome Rico Hoye Jr. Fighters to the center of the ring.
Okay, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want a good, clean bout. This is for the number 1 rating, 12 rounds. Rico, anything on his trunks or below, I'm going to consider a low blow. Montell, I'm going to give you just that little black part. It's a little borderline, okay? All right, touch them up, come out at the bell, may the best man win.
Oh, the tail of the tape in this one is very revealing. Hoye, 5 years in age advantage, 7 inches in height, 7 inches in reach. The only thing he doesn't have an advantage over Griffin, experience.
Stay in your corner.
And I might say attitude. Well, we'll talk about that one, Steve. The rules, there is no 3 knockdown or standing 8 count. Frank Garza's our referee. Rico Hoye in the biggest fight of his life, and Montell Griffin in red with utter disdain for him. Sure, he respects Hoye, his right hand and such, but he says, I have beaten much better. And he has. Steve, I agree with your assessment of Griffin. He does not necessarily have to get inside. You know, throughout his career, the quick hands and reflexes enabled him to box effectively from outside. Let's see how much he still has. His legs looked like they were taken away by Antonio Tarver, though, last year.
Well, Griffin landed the first left hook he threw in this fight.
Nice, quick left to the stomach by Griffin. Griffin sees very well. Head movement. And Thel Torrance, his trainer, wants Griffin to accentuate that 5'7".
Of course.
By fighting even lower. Hey, letting Hoye punch down. Huh?
Angelo Dundee's old line, right? If you're short, fight shorter. If you're tall, fight taller. It makes sense.
Oh, nice right hand by Hoye. And here comes a left hook lead from Montell Griffin. Very cautious, both guys, but both guys have landed early.
I have a question for you, Nick. If Rico Hoye's fighting for this opportunity to fight for the IBF title, what were the 4 belts in the ring? Unbelievable.
I thought you packed them when he came from New York.
Jeez,
you had that extra suitcase, didn't you?
I'm not knocking Rico. He can win all the belts he wants. That's fine. But that's where boxing's at today. You know, a guy like this, young prospect, he's already got 4 belts. What a difference in experience. Griffin, a member of the '92 Olympic team, 302 rounds. I'd have to check the stats. My guess is that's a Showbox record. And Rico Hoye's only had 53 rounds of professional boxing experience.
Boy, Hoye taking his time there, coming in for the first time with that overhand right behind the jab. And Steve, he doesn't want to force anything, Hoye, but I think the jab should be something to punish Griffin with. Not only blind him, not only throw him off guard, but I think that's really what they want to do, is just stick it out there and have it trouble Griffin and set up that right hand.
Yeah, I think the reason they want the jab to be just an introductory punch is they know that Griffin sees punches very well. So if he sees the jab, he's less likely to see the punch that comes after it, whether that be a straight right or a hook. Sort of blind him with the jab and then land the next shot.
And here comes Griffin doubling up the jab, trying to get inside. Now looking to fight low. Maybe when he's inside, they're unloading that hook, and that's what Torrance wanted him to do.
Counter left hook. It's the shot he used against Tarver, who was a southpaw. So you know he's going to use it against Hoye, who's orthodox.
He's got Hoye's respect a little bit. Hoye gets a little careless there. Looks a little wild trying to follow up. But here comes Hoye rifling that jab this time. Pretty good first round and a tough one to score.
Yeah, the problem for Griffin, the same as it's been for a large part of his career. Was he busy enough?
Right break, no punches, bounce.
So this one's scheduled for 12. Griffin says he's been in with the best, and he knows all about Rico Hoye, and Hoye says, no offense, I respect him, but it's my time. Here's the strategy from both.
Just like I said, utilize my reach. I'm 6'4", Montell's around 5'7", 5'8". So I want to just use my jab is the key in any fight, the jab.
I'm a 5'7" light heavyweight that fight like a 6'3" light heavyweight. So that basically sums it all up. I do things that other people don't do, and I give everybody problems. I just just being myself. If I be myself when I be in the ring, I ain't worried about nobody else.
Boy, and he does have attitude. See, we're talking about Griffin. He just doesn't feel that Hoye's faced anybody. And there's no doubt about it. You talked about resume, Steve. There's no comparison.
No.
But that doesn't make Rico Hoye an inferior fighter.
No, that's exactly, and it's exactly what makes this fight so intriguing. You know, it's your classic up-and-comer who hasn't fought the best guys against the older, perhaps faded, perhaps not faded veteran who's fought everybody.
Well, this is Rico Hoye's third appearance on Showbox, and it's his biggest step up. We're really calling it, as you said at the top, graduation day for him. If he passes this major exam, and this is absolutely a big one.
Well, what he's finding out right now, you saw in the first round he landed one good right hand, but Griffin rode with that punch a little bit. Montell Griffin's very hard to hit flush.
Griffin lunging in with that jab, and they don't want him certainly pulling straight back. I think the book they feel on Rico is he doesn't turn a lot, very straight shots, so just don't do anything stupid by backing straight out. And Montell doing a decent job. You're right, Steve. He's not getting hit as cleanly, although he gets blitzed there with a little tricky combination.
Why is Griffin such a good defensive fighter? You can see some of the reasons. His feet are always firmly planted on the canvas. He doesn't move his feet a lot. Good balance. That's, of course, a key. And his eyes. I mean, he just sees the shots coming.
He must, because his left hand is low there, and they're telling him, watch that right hand. They fully expect Rico Hoye to unleash it. Why not? That's his beauty punch. That's his power punch.
And nothing about Griffin. You know, how many prospects have we seen who either try to block shots or, you know, their defense is shaky? Montell Griffin moves his head. That's the right way. He actually learned a lot of boxing from his boyhood idol, Muhammad Ali. Kind of funny to think a 5'7" light heavyweight would fight like Muhammad Ali does, but defensively he's not all that different. He slides, he moves his head, not always back the way Ali did, but side to side, and that's why he's hard to hit.
His left hand is low again, but Hoye's not going to unload that right hand without coming in behind the jab and closing the gap a little bit. And now he seems to be trying to walk Montell Griffin back down, but showing him the respect as he backs off a little bit more. Hoye is in white, Griffin in red. Montell, the former light heavyweight champion of the world. That was long ago and far away, Steve.
Nick, Hoye's thrown 5 jabs in the last 30 seconds. Not one came close to landing.
And Griffin's did, as he doubled his nicely. With all that reach disparity, Griffin landing the more telling blows here in this second round. Boy, Steve, you really could see it. Griffin does see very well. Knows when to punch and not leave him hang his chin out there and be open. Because it's always risky when you're the shorter guy. You're still going to have to get within punching range, not that you have to be head against the guy's chest.
Okay, another good round. I want 2 more rounds, just like that, okay? Take a deep breath. Listen, as you slip them, as you slip, look here. Okay, okay, look here. Okay. Okay.
He's the more active fighter. Your jab is moving. Keep doing up a slide. So what if you ain't hitting him?
I mentioned in round 2, Rico Hoye jabbing as you think a taller fighter should. These punches aren't landing. Is it because he's not committing to the jab, or because Montell Griffin just sees it coming and knows how to react? Montell Griffin anticipates punches well. See him slipping that right hand.
Keep changing your head, okay? Okay?
I think he's fighting an excellent fight, Griffin.
Well, this is going to be all about adjustments for Rico Hoye. He's fighting the smartest fighter, along with the best fighter he's ever fought. He has to make adjustments.
Montell Griffin not afraid to lure Rico Hoye into his wheelhouse, and Felt Torrance telling him, then make him pay, just make him miss and then hook off that jab in tight. So they really wanted to use that left hand on Rico Hoye once he's close enough. And there, really lightning quick left from Griffin, backs Hoye off again.
And Nick, that was a 5'7" light heavyweight out jabbing a 6'3" light heavyweight. Talk about adjustments. Some of the adjustments I would recommend for Rico Hoye. Punch to the body. He tried one right hand to the body in round 2. He was successful with it. Even though Griffin's short, punch to the body, mix it up, and that jab by itself is nothing. He's got to throw in combination. 3-4 shots, maybe one lands.
Good point, Steve. But still, Rico Hoye not really flashing any kind of a power jab. And now he tries to set up behind that jab with the unloading the big right, but he was short with it. And
Hoye's cut. Yeah, Hoye's cut. It was a butt, and Hoye is cut. Right eye.
He's mad about it, but he's got to shake it off.
Accidental headbutt. Time in. Box.
No, good call by Garza, right? He
Yes.
said it was an accidental butt, which is exactly what it was. I saw it, and the interesting thing is Garza didn't call the doctor over. Maybe he doesn't think the cut is that serious, but Hoye is cut over the right eye.
Yes, and he's pawing at it now. It's over the outside of the right eye, so it could be in a worse spot, but it's something that's definitely troubling Rico Hoye here and could change the complexion of this fight. A veteran Montell Griffin goes right after that eye, Steve.
He did, and he landed a 1-2. You know what, though? Rico Hoye, let's keep in mind, he's facing adversity now. He faced adversity when he fought Prince Badi Ajamli. He got knocked down in the second round, came back to win that fight. Got hurt by Richard Hall in his last fight, came back to score a knockout 1 round later. He's answered the questions thus far, and he has another one right now.
Does he have to fight with a little bit more urgency? He certainly cranked it up here. And here come the power punches. Griffin shaking it off with disdain, but now he's against the ropes and covering up, but a booming left hook in return from Griffin as he's fighting well off the ropes. And now they continue to slug and just swap power shots.
Wow, did that change in a hurry, the fight, huh? The whole tenor of the fight.
Crowd's on its feet here in Sault Ste. Marie. Now it's back in the middle of the ring. So they both taste each other's power here in the third. Hoye in white and Montell Griffin in red.
It was good for Hoye that he backed Griffin to the ropes. He's got to punch to the body there, but the most important thing is he's got to remember to bring his right hand back when he punches, because Griffin's going to be flying with that left hook counter.
It's apparent, Steve, that Rico Hoye really wants full extension on his shots. He could shorten up inside and show him that he could do that, but he really likes to keep Griffin at the end of those punches. And he gets tagged first there in an excellent third round.
Sit down, baby. Sit down.
Deep breath.
When you come out of the combination,
Get
come out with your hands up.
spit right here. Listen to me, baby.
Come out with your hands up.
Don't force nothing. Every time you start shooting out, you dropping your right hand. You let him hit you with that left hook. You understand? Tuck, bend on the knees. You understand? Keep the right hand high. Gotta keep it high.
Keep getting your head, keep playing that. Once you get off that series of shots,
You understand? A bit more water.
I want you to break it up.
Come on, watch that pull.
Action from round 3. Let's see the butt that opened the cut over Rico Hoye's right eye. There it is. Can't miss it. Both fighters recoil. Ouch.
Certainly nothing blatant, and Rico Hoye at least in excellent hands. Bill Miller is a terrific cut man.
Oh, Bill Miller is legendary. Of course, he was the first and long-time trainer of James Toney. So Bill Miller knows a lot about Montell Griffin because Griffin beat Toney twice.
Montell Griffin fighting very much under control.
Stop! Time! Neutral corner. Give me your glove. Time in!
Frank Garza removes some superfluous tape from Griffin's gloves. And now they start again here in the fourth. Rico Hoye with his own blood on his trunks, the result of that accidental headbutt in the third round. And now it's Griffin cranking up that left hand. Waiting. But until Hoye unloads, Griffin picking those shots off. Making Hoye fall short. He's just got that sense of distance, doesn't he, Steve?
He sure does, and he's drawing Rico Hoye, and he's doing exactly what he wants to do. He's already established the fact that Hoye's jab is not going to be much of a scoring factor.
Double jab from Griffin, and then he backs off neatly. Rico Hoye very cautious. Danny Smith, his trainer, wants that right hand up and that guard tight. Now it's Griffin trying to feint Hoye into a mistake. Backs off and reloads, giving him these veteran looks. Steve Hoye is a little reticent and confused, huh? I'm not saying totally confused, but he's very cautious.
And he just got hit with a lead left hook. Yep, he's got to try something new. You talked about urgency. Well, it's only round 4 of a 12-round fight, so I don't think there's a sense of urgency yet. But he doesn't want to give away too many rounds either. And Montell Griffin, who planned on accelerating after round 4, has done very well in rounds 1 through 4.
Right.
Good sign for Griffin.
Hoye's cut is under control. The blood has stopped for now, so it doesn't seem to be a factor. Hoye trying to get his distance and control the distance throughout this fight, and then overhand right, and then he gets banged with a nice counter from Griffin. So Rico Hoye paying the price for trying to close the gap here.
And you can see why long arms can be a disadvantage. When Hoye throws that right hand, it's a long punch because he's a tall fighter with long arms. Griffin's answer is a short left hook.
Griffin's fighting a beautiful fight, Steve.
Well, his trainer, Thel Torrance, who's one of the gentlemen and one of the best trainers in boxing and a disciple of Eddie Futch, who, by the way, used to train Griffin, said that camp was great. You know, he was bragging to us about how this was Montell's best camp in a long time, and so far it's showing.
More focused. You know, it's one of those last stand things. It obviously gets his hackles up, Steve. We saw him in the meetings, and he doesn't consider himself some opponent for some up-and-coming guy who can't match his resume, can't begin to match it. Griffin connects with another left hook there. So he has definitely gotten the respect of Rico Hoye. And after 4, Steve, how do you have it?
I have it a shutout for Montell Griffin, 40-36. I'm not quitting on Rico Hoye yet. He's just got to make some adjustments. It's a long fight.
He's bleeding again.
Okay, now listen. Right. Now you get Now listen. I don't want to show him anything. After you use that jab, don't step back your hands up. Look for another shot. You do that jab, keep the head moving. Keep your head moving and keep drifting off. Okay? Right. And anytime he starts his combinations, once he starts them combinations, once you slip one of them right up the center, bust them right in the center. Okay? And be smart.
That's right between your legs.
Okay.
Real smart.
I need one more round like that, Montell. Okay? One more round.
Win the round.
All I want is one round at a time. That's all you have to do. Okay? Be smart. All right. Okay?
Sound advice, Thel Torrance.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping him on, keeping him focused, not over talking anything, not 6 or 7 things to do. Griffin knows what to do.
And he gave him sound advice. He told him what to do instead of just saying keep your hands up or be more aggressive. Good trainer matchup here. Thel Torrance, one of the older trainers, one of the wise veterans of the game. Danny Smith, who we're both very high on, one of the better young trainers who trains Rico Hoye. So good matchup.
Absolutely.
Both guys from Vegas.
And Bill Miller has that cut under control. Can't see any of the blood right now, so again, it doesn't seem to be bothering Rico Hoye. He was bleeding after the 4th round, but it stopped once again. And Hoye trying to get a little closer, it seems, Steve, with that jab, and Griffin seems to eat him up. And Hoye swallows a couple of left hands from Griffin. Del Torrance wants Griffin to follow up, especially once he's inside. But that left hand seems to be the big weapon for him. And not a hellacious hitter by any means, as you mentioned, Steve. But so smart. Hoye won't be lured into that trap. At the same time, he's got to start putting some offense together. Overhand right from Griffin, and then he wails away with a left that clocks Hoye.
And something to consider, Nick, the butt rule here. 4 rounds have been completed. If for any reason the referee rules Rico Hoye cannot continue because of the cut that was opened by the butt, we would go to the cards.
Rico Hoye is undefeated and looking to graduate from Showbox and fight for the title. But he has got to get past a man who hasn't given an inch and has fought masterfully here, Montell Griffin. Good head movement. He's just, again, so hard to hit flush, Steve, as you said. This guy does not look like a guy playing out the string, and that's good.
No, he's not. He's 34. He's been the distance. Remember that he has 302 rounds on those tires, Nick. You wonder late in the fight whether Rico Hoye can rally enough to do something to turn this around.
Well, it's gut check situation. As we said, he was down in the 2nd round of his Showbox debut 15 months ago, and then he basically swept the fight. But that was against an opponent who just can't match up to Montell Griffin. But again, it is the 5th, scheduled for 12. Griffin shoots that left. Picks off the jabs from Hoye, who's short again with his left. Fire at once, and it's Griffin getting through. Now Griffin short himself. Oh, he ran into a forearm, it seemed there.
Quiet round there.
Yes,
very quiet.
Tough one to score.
Rico, listen, I need you to be smart, baby. You ain't throwing nail hook off the jab. You haven't did that at all yet. All right, you got to take a little bit of chances.
When he's dipping though, throw it still.
When he's dipping and leaning forward, he's getting ready to jump with a left hook, or he's getting ready to lead with that jab. You understand what I'm saying? But when you get close to him, you got to come underneath, but you got to push him, because every time you throw a right hand, he's gonna throw a hook. So be prepared for that.
Okay.
Be prepared to catch the hook and fire back. 2 shots. Whenever you catch, either throw the right hand left hook or the hook right hand. When you catch, don't just catch and then be looking.
Seconds out.
Instructions clear, Steve. Rico Hoye's got to let it go a little bit. Let his hands go.
I like
Round
that.
6.
I like that advice, though. Again, good advice from the corner. Hook off the jab. By hooking off the jab, he can keep his right hand pinned to his chin and take away Griffin's counter hook.
Yeah, we haven't seen any burst from Rico Hoye. Single shots here with the jab. And that vaunted right hand really hasn't landed flush. If it did, Montell Griffin could have been out. He's hit some guys flush, and they go, go, go. Griffin waiting, lunging in, and that's what Danny Smith had warned Hoye about, saying you got to make him swallow a left hand in return. Griffin makes Hoye miss.
One of the things that makes Griffin so difficult to hit, gives you little different looks, you know. Look at him.
Oh boy,
slides his head to the left. He's not doing anything. He's not punching. He's not jabbing. But he gives you different looks. That makes it very hard for Hoye to think about which punches, which combinations would be the right ones to land.
Yeah, Hoye's lost any kind of fluidity here. He's never really had it. It doesn't look smooth. And credit Griffin for certainly just taking him out of sync. Hoye just measuring with the jab now. His right hand looking to block, really not in a great position to throw. Griffin seems to sense it, but he is warily maintaining his distance. Feigning and making Hoye think again. Here comes the big right hand from Hoye as he tries to back Griffin up. Griffin playing an elusive game here. Steve, it's a guy who really saves his legs. Not a wasted bit of energy from Montell Griffin.
And that may very well be a key in allowing him to fight 12 rounds, you know, and do what he's been doing for 12 rounds. He doesn't waste energy.
Should Hoye force the pace a little bit more?
Hoye's going to have to change up, do something different.
Okay, my break.
I don't see a lot of adjustments so far by Rico Hoye. The experience factor right now is the biggest factor in the fight. And remember, Hoye, how many rounds has he fought his last few fights? 4, 5, 6, 8 rounds total in his last 4 fights. That doesn't bode well for going 12. But the pace is so slow and careful and studied. They're not boxing in there, they're playing chess. And they're certainly not fighting. So going 12 shouldn't be a problem for either guy, I would think, at this point.
But if you have to assess it, Griffin is giving Hoye more problems than vice versa.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Hoye just is not creating any problems for Griffin. So he's able to box when he wants to box and sit out when he wants to sit out. And still win rounds, it seems like. We're about to hit the halfway mark here in Sault Ste. Marie. Rico Hoye and Montell Griffin.
America's Fight Night is on Showtime. On October 2nd, it's a huge night of boxing with a triple header featuring former heavyweight champion Vladimir Klitschko. Klitschko wants the title back, and he wants it bad. But first, he must go through one of the top contenders, Darrell Williamson. Also, it's the long-awaited rematch of the action-packed fight between junior middleweight champion Ferno Phillips and Kasim Uma. Plus, 2000 Olympian Jeff Lacey becomes the first in his class to fight for a world title. Saturday, October 2nd at 9 p.m. Klitschko, Williamson, Phillips, Uma, plus Vanderpool Lacey. It's America's Fight Night on America's #1 boxing network.
Round 7. Round 7.
Ready for the 7th here in Sault Ste. Marie. In the red, former light heavyweight champion of the world, Montell Griffin. Rico Hoye's in white, undefeated, but looking to play catch-up, Steve Farhood.
Rico landed a big right hand the last 5 seconds of that 6th round. Virtually nothing else happened in the round. I thought that was enough to give him the round. Let's see if he can continue. That cut doesn't seem to be much of a factor over Rico Hoye's right eye neck, does it?
No, not at all. Credit Bill Miller. And it really is a neutral factor in this fight, but so is Rico Hoye's offense for the most part. And Steve, it's interesting as we look at what happens when they start going deep.
Well, we're in round 7 now, and you see Griffin just a slight advantage in experience. But interesting, 18 fights for Griffin, only 3 KOs late.
Griffin not always the most crowd-pleasing, but I just admire the fact that he places his punches so well and seems to maneuver Hoye into getting the worst of him, making him miss there.
Well, there's a long way to go in this fight, Nick, but when you look at Montell Griffin's record, you realize he outboxed James Toney twice. I mean, how good do you have to be as a boxer to outbox James Toney? The question, of course, is he's 34 now. Does he still have enough left to hold Rico Hoye off? And is Rico Hoye good enough to beat him? And right now, Griffin's ahead in this fight, but there's 6 rounds to go.
Hoye runs into a little left hand. That's that sneaky left that keeps Montell Griffin's offense together here. He's either countering with it, suckering Hoye in, and sometimes just getting off first with the left if Hoye is reluctant to pull the trigger on his offense. There's that lead left from Griffin. Didn't really land. Waiting, picking off punches, and they're really going low. Hoye off balance and not able to fire. Probably a good idea as he tries to reload here.
Another thing about Griffin makes him very difficult to fight. Join the list, right? There's a long list, but every good fighter knows how to counterpunch. He just doesn't give you any opportunity to counterpunch. When is he led in this fight?
True.
Even jabs. I mean, there he goes, double jab, but almost never leads with a power shot. Very rarely leads with a left. He's not giving Hoye much to work off of.
He's clipping him here with that left hand there once again, and Hoye has to reset. And he just looks like he has the pins knocked out from under him. There's that lead left hook from Montell Griffin. Inviting Hoye in.
My break, step back.
Timing his rushes, it seems, tying him up at the right time. So Griffin putting on a bit of a clinic here, and after the bell, they flurry. Griffin, 34 years old, and as we said, he doesn't view himself as just some trial horse. They want Montell to wake up a little bit more offensively, and I agree, Steve. He has laid back here in the last couple of rounds. He's had his moments, certainly back there in the 7th, but the 6th wasn't much for him, and I agree with you, he lost that round. But he is very much in command. What does Hoye do, Steve? Obviously has to get more offensive here. Taking chances against this guy is dangerous, we know.
Well, he's got to take chances. The fight's been fought at one tempo, and it's been a very slow tempo. That's not to the advantage of the younger fighter. That's for one. Two, maybe it is time to try to step inside a little bit. Mix his punches up, throw to the body a little bit. And he hasn't hooked off the jab. I understand it's a hard punch to land against Griffin, who never shows you his head, but that would be a good idea.
Yeah. Hoye at least putting that jab in motion now. And he may as well, because he really hasn't landed that money punch of his, the right hand flush. It's almost like he's so frustrated before he even tries it, he stopped believing that it will land. Now the infighting, and Montell sweeps with that left hand and then resets distance, and Hoye trying to control range here and find Griffin at the end of his punches. Remember the strategy you talked about early, Steve? Hey, I'm just going to run up my shots and get out of here. I'm taller than this guy. There's no sense to go to war with him, but I'm going to hit him and move. But first, you got to hit him.
Right.
My break.
I think this fight is also a challenge, not only for Rico Hoye, but for the judges, because not a lot is happening. Now, I thought early in the fight, Griffin clearly landed the better shots with his left hook. But as the rounds mount, very few shots are being landed, and the judges really have to pay very, very strict attention and measure, maybe 3 punches from one guy that might have not landed flush against 2 from the other that might not have landed flush. It's tough.
Yeah, when you really get down to it, 90% of it is the clean, effective punching.
Sure.
We could talk about defense and ring generalship, but they're minor in this equation. But I like talking about ring generalship because Montell Griffin definitely has it.
Well, he's showing you something very few fighters who are very short can do, which is outbox a much taller rival.
He just knows where to be and where not to be.
Look at the size. Look at the size difference. It's gigantic. 7 inches. You're not going to see that. You'll see it in the heavyweight division on occasion, but nowhere else.
Another tough round to score, Steve.
Very, very few clean punches.
And there's a couple of lefts from Griffin. Oh, overhand right from Hoye as now he cranks it up and gets angry.
Good. Better round, baby. How you feel? Talk to me. All right. You look good. Keep working that left hand. Keep touching. When you throw a shot, push him off balance. Don't let him try to counter you with that hook. His speed is slowing down. I know you can see it. His speed is slowing down. The hooks are getting wider and slower. You got to keep your hand speed fast. Okay. That way, he's really going to hesitate to throw his shots. Okay. You understand?
Yep. Take this right over now.
That's right.
Slowing up. Keep backing him up.
And keep being fast.
Smart when you're backing him up. Keep your hands up.
All right. Don't play with your hands down, period. Because he keeps sliding, so don't force nothing.
Okay.
Put him in the bag.
Steve, I think you hit it perfectly. This is a test match, and you want to see somebody creating more aggression, creating more offense, creating more openings. Tactically, it's interesting, but at the same time, I really want to see more offense. I don't know if we're going to get it. Hoye still the reluctant warrior against this guy. He's got to be wary.
Rico Hoye maybe trying something new here. Moving to his right a little bit. What he's got to do, he's got to keep that right hand pinned to his chin because Griffin's offense is pretty much solely that left hook. And Rico's got to use that left hand, even if he's not going to score points with the jab. Maybe jab, jab, left hook. And it's tough for him because Hoye is a right-hand puncher. And every time he throws his right, as his corner told him properly a few rounds ago, every time he throws that right, Griffin's going to counter with a left.
Griffin leading with his left there to the chest. There's that left hand. He dips out of danger. Griffin in red, the shorter guy by far. As Steve indicated, now Griffin runs into a left hook. One of the first we've seen from Hoye, and Hoye thinks he's got Griffin certainly not hurt, but a little off balance and maybe in the retreat.
But combination punches from Hoye. 4 of them at a time there.
Hadn't seen the left hook at all, Steve. We just saw it. Rico Hoye hands high, backing off. He still wants to create that distance, meaning he's got the reach and he wants Griffin at the end of those punches. Full extension on that shot. There goes a better jab from Hoye. Griffin trying to keep Hoye off with that left, and Hoye unloads, missing a couple of power shots. Advice from Del Torrance is don't let Hoye walk to you, Steve. Don't let him close the gap. You create the distance. And it's Hoye backing off. Now he's in white. Griffin very short with that left. Now it's Hoye taking a couple of lefts flush. Another one.
All right, my break, my break.
Griffin with the superior tactics. Maybe not the most entertaining offensive thrust we've seen from fighters, but doing more to win these rounds. Rico Hoye trying to solve an elusive, clever puzzle in Montell Griffin. And now it is getting late.
All right, bell, bell.
Whoa. Bell. Frank Garza showing a good chin.
Yeah, he did. He took one flush, didn't he? May have been the most flush fight, punch of the fight.
Right. When I say bell, okay.
Action from round 9. Look at Montell Griffin. Does he see punches? Tough to hit flush. And then Griffin, the shorter man, jabbing well. And listen.
Bell, bell.
It's about 7 shots each after the bell.
Well, who won that round? That's a tough one.
That was tough because Hoye landed the combination early.
Right,
I still gave the round to Griffin.
How do you have it, Steve?
88-83 Montell Griffin after 9.
Rico Hoye playing serious catch-up on Steve Farhood's card. He just hasn't done much offensively. There's no doubt that Griffin's landed perhaps some more quality blows. That could be questionable, but certainly the volume.
We got to have time. Go to your corner. I need a new pair of gloves.
Ripped gloves.
I need a new pair of gloves.
This will take time. They're going to have to cut the glove, the left glove, off of Rico Hoye and get a new pair of gloves.
Gloves came apart. Timeout. We're replacing the gloves. Okay?
All right, so they are calling time here. They got to replace both of them, of course.
Let me see the other
Steve, very briefly, who does this favor?
Griffin, if anybody. The pace isn't draining
right
to a 34-year-old fighter. but as Garza checks Griffin's gloves.
Okay.
It's a good move.
Looks like there's a defect in the gloves.
Defect
okay?
in both fighters'
both,
gloves, says
both
Frank
fighters'
Garza.
gloves.
So,
these are still okay.
So Frank Garza says that Griffin's gloves are still okay, but it sounds like borderline at this point.
Yeah.
So what do? Don't punch as hard? I mean,
you could just have them take their gloves off and fight without gloves.
Now,
the defect,
listen,
Nick, the defect is that the attachment is coming apart. That one, it came all the way apart.
Frank, what's detached?
The attachment for the thumb.
From the thumb.
Okay,
the thumb. And the actual glove, the body of the glove, the detachment has come apart, meaning with that you get thumbed in the eye.
Right, they're not thumbless gloves anymore. Wow, they've done a very quick job on that left glove.
Absolutely no tampering because these are going through the same thing.
Okay, so if there was a question of somebody tampering with the gloves, because Frank Garza says both corners' gloves are defective, then that isn't an issue.
Wow, great job by Garza and great job by the corner of Rico Hoye to make that.
Boy,
that very short delay.
Minute 15, and they've got new gloves on Rico Hoye.
I think it took a little longer with Cassius Clay and Henry Cooper in London a few years ago.
Here comes Montell Griffin closing the gap. Now backing off, waiting for Hoye to try that right. Missing is Hoye with the left. And really, Hoye has not hit Griffin solidly all night. There he gets backed off with that little baby left hand. It's just that little 18-inch shot from Griffin, Steve, that's doing the most damage in this fight, or at least scoring the most points. So it's volume, really. You see, we're in the 10th, scheduled for 12 here in Sault Ste. Marie, and Rico Hoye's undefeated record in serious jeopardy on our cards.
Hard break, no punching, no wrestling.
Well, this brings back memories of Mike Tyson in his prime. Not that Griffin fights like Tyson, he doesn't, but the fact that Mike at times out-jabbed and outboxed taller guys. Just because you have a 7-inch reach advantage means nothing if you don't use it properly. The reason Hoye isn't using it properly is because Griffin's not letting him use it properly.
Absolutely right. And we talked about graduation in school for Rico Hoye, but it's a clinic, and it is a schooling he's getting from Montell Griffin.
Well, safe to say that Hoye will probably not fight anybody as difficult as Griffin for a long, long time.
Yeah, I have to give him credit. It's a quantum leap, and he hasn't lost this fight anyway, Steve. We're only in the 10th. But at the same time, it was gutsy. He wanted this step up to fight for the title. And so far, it's been too big of a leap for him, it looks like, as Griffin has controlled this fight once again. Punching when he wants to punch and resting when he wants to rest and winning the majority of the rounds and just really maneuvering Hoye into looking bad. There's a right hand and a nice left hook from Griffin. His best power explosion of the night.
And where did that right hand come from? It's as if it's the first one Griffin's thrown and it caught Hoye by surprise.
True. Big round for Montell Griffin. Rico Hoye eats a left hand on the way in, and Griffin starting to hot dog a little bit. He'll run out and push off Hoye at the bell. Wow.
As long as he's picking his feet up, he's okay. Okay? All right. Be smart.
Steve, I think it's a good idea. Certainly for me, I'm not scoring this thing officially to temper my comments on the fact that these are some close rounds, and when there's inaction, it could be either way. So the criterion's very difficult and sometimes very abstract.
Very true. Griffin apparently marked over the left eye. There's swelling there as well. Jim Strickland, the cut man, was working on it between rounds, but the cuts in both cases certainly not deciding factors.
So Steve, having said how tough it is to score, how do you score it?
98-92 Montell Griffin.
Okay, then let's get down to it. About 5 minutes left in this fight. Hoye has to gamble big time. How does he do it?
Well, he's got to initiate exchanges at this point, and he's got to do that by leading and risking getting countered. And push Griffin back a little bit and try to extend his right hand and keep firing it.
Steve, what about Griffin's power? He's got 30 KOs, but what does that mean against the big man here, Hoye, who has been down, we saw. but at the same time, can he walk into a knockout shot?
You know what? Griffin's beaten a lot of good fighters in his career. He's knocked out almost nobody. So even with the 30 KOs, when he fights the better guys, he turns boxer, and he's not concerned with power.
Nice left hand by Griffin there. And if he's not concerned with power, and Hoye, that's the book on Griffin, perhaps, how elusive he is. And difficult to hit cleanly, and how he wins rounds with the ring generalship and volume punching. That it's easy for me to say, but Rico Hoye's got to really go for it again and gamble. Really go for it. Got to climb all over him. Really start sticking punches together. We just haven't seen it the entire night. Credit the elusiveness of Griffin. He continues to change angles. Now he's moving to his right again. It's making it totally uncomfortable for Hoye to find any fluid stroke here.
And you have to ask at this point, did this fight come too soon for Rico Hoye? You asked that question before, Nick. The only reason it's relevant, hey, Rico Hoye's not getting banged up in this fight. He's not getting hurt. It wouldn't be that bad a loss, but it's for a chance for a world title. So you know, how far back is it going to send him? Well, the opportunity's there. He's 29 years old. He'll get more opportunities should he lose this fight. But if this was just a loss to an experienced fighter and Rico Hoye wasn't fighting for a chance for the title, it wouldn't be as bad. I think it's a little more damaging because of what's at stake.
Rico Hoye is a Michigan native. We are in Michigan. He lives in Phoenix now. It's something to be considered.
Just hasn't been.
Right hand by Griffin. He stung Rico Hoye with two good shots. First a left about a minute ago, and then a nice straight right hand.
Break.
Hoye just can't find the target. And he's got a round to figure it out.
A cold rag will wipe my face. Give me cold. Got a cold rag. A cold rag. Huh?
Action from round 11. All of a sudden, Montell Griffin introduces the right hand into the equation. He didn't throw a right hand for 6-7 rounds in this fight. Pushed that a little bit. You saw him lean forward as he threw it. It was still flush. What are the judges supposed to think after seeing that?
Okay, now listen. Now I want you to be smart. Don't give him nothing. Be smart with it. Okay? Be smart with it. Every time he gets hit, I want you to feint him out of it. And you step up with your jab, do it twice. Okay? Once you get your combination.
Chin tuck. This is last rock. All right, let's go get that IBF next, baby. Get that spit bucket. Whoa.
Okay, just your best punches like you did in that round. Win the round.
Touch him up.
3 minutes for Rico Hoye to turn this fight around, and he's done nothing to suggest he could through 11. He just has been taken out of his game plan. The advice was don't force anything, but now is the time to step on the gas. Obviously, Montell Griffin isn't biting at anything. He's not running into shots. He's not turning into shots. Hoye can't cut the corners on him. The jab isn't working. He could be a flat out of answers, Steve.
I don't think he ever had any answers in this fight. I just haven't seen a lot of adjustments from Rico Hoye during the fight. And that's what gaining experience is all about. He's never going to forget this moment. And you know what, Nick? Hey, we all love slugfests. We all love big punching fights. This isn't one of them, but you got to appreciate Montell Griffin if you're a boxing fan. I mean, yeah, maybe not every fight you want to see a guy fight like this, but how many fighters, world-class fighters, have this kind of defense and anticipation and reflex? Very few.
Exactly. Look at him get off first there with two lightning left hands. And again, a guy with a colossal disadvantage in reach, 7 inches. 8 inches in height. Montell Griffin, 5'7", 6'3", Rico Hoye. Has not been able to keep Griffin at the end of his punches at all tonight. A frustrating experience for Rico Hoye. What he could take away from this perhaps is maybe just a useful tool in terms of learning what not to do the next time against a guy this slick and clever.
Well, instead of graduating, he's been stuck for a little added time in the classroom with a professor, that's for sure. Against his will, maybe, but nothing he can do about it.
Funny, that headbutt not a factor, how that blood stopped long ago. But the only issue here is, can Rico Hoye get unbelievably fortunate here and find Montell Griffin's chin flush?
Well, he's not going to get lucky because he's not moving his hands, Nick.
Well, that's the kind of jab I wanted to see earlier from Hoye.
A little more oomph on it, huh?
Oh, a big right hand from Hoye, his best punch, and Griffin shakes it off. But that was his best punch in many rounds. And look at Griffin trying to close the show with conviction himself, leaving nothing in doubt in the hands of the judges. But Hoye coming on big, but certainly running out of clock. Montell Griffin, Rico Hoye saluting the crowd as if he won. Steve, it's hard to believe he did. How did you have it officially?
117-111, Montell Griffin. Hoye did a little better the second half of the fight, but fell too far behind in the first half.
Montell Griffin looking rejuvenated, and why not? He came in knowing that Rico Hoye certainly wasn't taking him lightly, but was looking at him as a stepping stone and an opponent to bigger and better things.
Push-ups. Here's the shutout, baby. Unanimous decision. We got a unanimous right now.
Get your ass up next, Roy. Take your ass up. I don't care about no hurricane.
Good. Way to put that work on there, baby.
Steve, we couldn't help hearing the corner of Montell Griffin saying they're going to call Roy Jones now. And really, this absolutely plunges Rico Hoye down a few notches, and it thrusts Montell Griffin into another title shot. And we would have to say you put the smart money on him inevitably fighting Roy Jones again if Jones wants him.
Well, Jones has to fight Glenn Koff Johnson for the IBF light heavyweight title. Jones will be favored to win that fight. Hey, Jones is coming off a one-punch knockout loss. We have to see what he has left. But if Jones wins that fight, hey, it's been 7 years since Montell Griffin had his 2 fights with Roy Jones. He beat Roy the first time by DQ, got knocked out in 1 in the rematch.
So we're here for ShowBox The New Generation, and surprise, surprise, who knows? Let's go to Ronnie Duncan, who makes our main event official.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give both of these fighters a round of applause. Going 12 rounds for the IBF light heavyweight title elimination bout. The winner will fight for the IBF light heavyweight championship of the world. We go to the Kuwaitan scorecards, and we have a split decision. Referee Dale Grable scores this fight 116-112 Hoye. Judge Gary Merritt scores this fight 115-113 Griffin. And Judge Bill Page scores this fight 116-112. The winner. And he'll be fighting for the IBF light heavyweight championship of the world, Rico Hoye Jr.